So I bought this beautiful Aeroad CF SL 8 from Canyon. It's a beautiful bike. It's a beautiful color. The only problem is, unbeknownst to me, there was a seat post issue that on the very first ride I took, this bike was creaking like crazy. You know, if you ride your bicycle to relax, that creaking will drive you insane. So I contacted Canyon, and apparently it's a well-known problem, and they did suggest a remedy, which I'm going to attempt to do myself. So the issue apparently has to do with this seat post. As you can see, it has like some play in it. Of course, it's in its most loosened position, but this is what the issue is. So when you remove this, this is what the seat post looks like. So down in the hole there, that down there is what needs to be tightened up against the seat post to keep it stable. But the wiggling back and forth creates the creak. Apparently in the 2021 model, they didn't have this plastic sleeve, grommet, what do you want to call it? And that this was supposed to be the solution for the 2022 model. But unfortunately, it requires, at the very least, maintenance. So they do provide a video along with some suggested greases to use, and that's what we're going to try to do today. So one of the other things you have to look for is anything that might protrude and make contact with the seat post. Like at the bottom of that rubber grommet or seal that they added on for this year, it must be held on with some adhesive, because I could see right down there in the corner that there's a little bit that's sticking up, and it seems harmless, but it could also be the culprit. So there was that little bump of maybe adhesive or something that was protruding from the bottom of that soft plastic seal, grommet, and I did file that down a little bit. And really, if you look around the perimeter of this opening and you see anything at all that has a high spot to it, I think it has to be knocked down. So maybe that was a waste of time, or maybe it'll help with the solution to this mess. So these were the two products that Canyon recommended. The red and tacky grease is what goes all the way down, and if you watch their video, you coat the perimeter and the set screw, the inside of the set screw assembly. And the ceramic grease is what goes around the perimeter of the plastic sleeve. I'm using just a makeshift long length acid brush with the red grease ready to go down. So now that I have everything greased the way I think it's supposed to be greased, all the way down there, I emphasized the front part of the opening and also the top of that little piece that stabilizes the bottom of the post. Got my white grease all the way around the edge. And so in addition to all the greasing that I did, I also put a couple of pieces of tape on my seat post. I had read where other people had done that and had some good success. So I put a piece across the front where I think the seat post will come closest in contact with the hardness of the carbon frame, and also in the back, two very small pieces, but perhaps that'll make a better result. So let me tell you how it all worked out. I did the lube job, as you saw, and I went out for a 15-mile ride. That 15-mile ride was very quiet, but it was also a very easy ride, 16-mile-an-hour ride. Went out for another ride after that, which was 25 miles, also a very easy ride, 16 miles an hour. Again, no noise. Went out on a club ride, 19 mile an hour, hills, 45 miles. About 6 miles into the ride, it started making noise. And by the end of the ride, there was enough noise that other people in the group were commenting on it. So, not really what I bargained for. So in the end, I have to say that it's a beautiful bike. It's extremely fast bike. You really feel that when you're putting power to the pedals, you're getting a good result. I had initially taken the bike on a very familiar 27-mile loop that I have done many, many times over the years. And I actually took off 5 minutes from my best time. So the bike has speed, the bike is comfortable, but in the end, that creaking noise is just more than I can take. So I am sending the bike back to Canyon. I'm at about 27 days after the arrival of it. And I will say that I did call Canyon US. I spoke with Carlo. He was extremely helpful. He tried to resolve the problem. It just didn't work for me. And it could also possibly be that I weigh in the 200 range. And maybe if I weighed in the 175 range, this would not be as much of an issue. Maybe this is a heavier rider issue, and you guys who are lighter riders might not have any problem at all. And again, when I called Canyon, I did speak with Laura in the returns department, and really couldn't have been easier. There was really no trouble, no hassle whatsoever. They honor their 30-day return policy, and that's a plug for Canyon. I do own another Canyon, a 2018 Endure Race, which I really love. It's an all-arounder, perfect bike, but I wanted a fast aero bike. I do a lot of riding in windy areas. This bike would have really met my needs, but I just can't deal with that squeaking noise. And lastly, I will mention that I am within the 30-day return policy, and that might be why everybody is so agreeable. Why you would, don't wait until after the 30-day period. Make your decision and return the bike if you're unhappy. The other thing that I will mention, which I think is important, I almost bought this bike at a discount. It was being offered with about $150 discount off of the $4,700 price, I think it was. And I thought about buying it with the discount because I thought to myself, I'm never going to return the bike. Why would I ever return the bike? Something told me not to do it. only because you lose the 30-day return policy. So I suspect that, and when I went to buy this bike, there must have been 10 of them being offered with that $150 discount. So Canyon's getting a lot of returns on this bike, and the way they're getting rid of them, they're offering a little bit of a discount, but you buy it and it's a no return situation. I would highly recommend anybody who's thinking about buying this bike, don't let that discount sway you into making a bad decision. That 30-day return policy is really important when it comes to fit and when it comes to an unforeseen issue like this. And that's all I got to say. Here again, I love Canyon, but this is just a very unfortunate situation with the seat posts. I wish everybody well, ride strong, enjoy your bikes.